As I explained in previous films, I'm sort of trying to put out a new way of creating content.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Okay, let's get right into it. Why am I, Mark Knight, filmmaker, making content about health and safety when I'm not a health and safety professional? The first reason is that it is part of my video content strategy as a filmmaker. In my last film, I explained what a video content strategy is. It's a whole idea and concept behind how you can create video for businesses in order to help them effectively achieve their business goals. So my business goal is to introduce a new way of creating video content going against the grain of what is currently out there.
Well, ooh-la-dee-da, Mr. Frenchman.
So, my strategy is to put bits of value out there into the market so that people can see the value in adopting a strategy. So I'm doing that by showing you my journey of putting value out there, and hopefully in future episodes I'll be able to say, me doing this has led to this piece of work or this opportunity. But in order to do that, I also need to have another strategy, which is getting my message out there and proving that I have credibility and that my idea for video content strategies has got legs. So what I'm going to do is use my experience as a filmmaker and show how to do that to a very specific niche. I need to find an audience to prove that these concepts work. And based on the resources that I have available, based on my experience, based on the case studies that I can call on, based on all the things that I've learned over my career, health and safety is a really good sector for me to focus on. Because of the third reason, I am an expert in health and safety communications. As I said, I'm not a health and safety professional. I don't work in health and safety, but I am an expert at creating health and safety communications.
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
So you might be like, how can he say that he's an expert in creating health and safety communications? What gives him the right to say that? And yeah, I probably need to prove it. I need to show that I've got some credibility in it. And I can do that based on my experiences. I've had exposure to a lot of different sectors. I've worked for a lot of different businesses. I've worked across nuclear, engineering, manufacturing, production, automotive, construction, stadium management. The list goes on and on and on. I have had exposure to a lot of different types of health and safety issues and concerns. I've also made a lot of different types of content. I've made content for training packages. I've made content for inductions. I've made content for conferences. I've made content for lots of different types of audiences, from senior leaders all the way down to the frontline staff, for audiences that are based in one factory to a global workforce. I've made a lot of different types of content. And additional to that, I've also been pretty successful at it.
I'm very important. I have many leather-bound books.
So that sort of establishes my credibility and why I would choose to focus on health and safety. But the fourth reason why I've chosen to focus on health and safety content is that I can add value to the people that work in that sector. If you work in health and safety, I can add value if you want to communicate health and safety to your workforce. And how do I do that? I do that because I have over 10 years worth of filming experience creating health and safety communications for an array of different types of projects. And I can use those individual case studies to show you what the brief was, how we solved it, the problems that we incurred, the resources that we had available, and what the outcomes of those projects were. So that you can go, oh, I've got a similar project like that, or I've got a similar challenge that I'm looking to overcome. And some of these insights that I've had over my career will be valuable to you, and they'll help you avoid the mistakes that I made and benefit from the successes that I had, which is helpful. I can help you make your business safer. Surely you want to at least have a conversation with me about that. or go into conversations with people who are your partners with more information so you can make sure that they're doing what they need to do in order to achieve the business's goals, but also the goals that you have for certain projects. The more armed with knowledge and expertise that you are, the more effective you will be at finding effective collaborators. The third way in that I bring value is that I'm not a health and safety professional. I don't live exclusively in that world. And that is beneficial because I am then able to bring expertise and knowledge that I have working with other clients on other projects that I can then apply to your job. Your health and safety job will be influenced by the work that I've done away from health and safety. It could be as simple as giving you a new filming style that hasn't been seen in health and safety communications before, which is therefore makes it more Shots! Cut! No! So close, yet so far. And that exposure to different ways of filming, different techniques, different mediums, allows me to then offer a bigger arsenal of solutions to people who want health and safety communications creating. For example, this film now that is starting to talk about health and safety and all the future communications that I make about health and safety wouldn't have been possible without my exposure to social media platforms and the fact that I have my own YouTube channel that I run, and all the things that I've learned doing that I'm now applying to health and safety comms. So I'm adding value by not being a health and safety professional but being a rounded filmmaker and communicator. So yeah, you're welcome.
You pompous, stuck-up, snot-nosed, English giant, twerp, scumbag.
The fifth reason why I'm creating health and safety content is because I like health and safety content. And I like it for several reasons. The first one being that the ethos behind creating health and safety comms, who can argue with that? When you boil it down, it's we want to keep our staff safe. We want everyone to go home the way they turn up. Brother's keeper. All these type of things are where you're looking out for your colleagues and they're looking out for you, creating a culture where everyone remains safe and the business flourishes because it looks after each other. How can you argue against that? Yeah, I'm all in for health and safety communications. I think they are worthwhile things and I think they are of great benefit to any business. Another reason I like health and safety comms is because it is all about communication. Making content to communicate on lots of different layers, lots of different problems, lots of different solutions. It's literally open. Like, there is no end to it either because communication should be ongoing. It has to be a constant dialogue. It's almost like having a social media experiment, because a social media experiment essentially comes down to someone putting lots of content out and they only see success if people engage with it and feedback. If you took it as a health and safety thing, you want to be putting your messages out there, but you don't want it to be a dictatorial society where you're just like, do this is the way, do. It's engaging people in what you want to achieve. So you need people to comment. You need people to give their opinions on stuff in order for it to grow and flourish. I mean, I see social media as being quite a big influencer in the future of health and safety comms. And that's really exciting to me. So I like health and safety because it's about communication and it's got a lot of opportunities. I can also say that health and safety people are, in general, really good people. They tend to be people that want to see the best result, and they also are very collaborative people. They're people who are aware of what they know, and they understand that by working with external partners, that they are trusting the expertise of those partners. They understand the power of communication. They understand that getting someone to pay attention to a health and safety communication is the battle. So if you want to stick with me over the future films in which I'll be going into more detail about case studies of films, how to create certain films for health and safety comms, then please click the like button, click the subscribe button, click the follow button, click all the types of buttons. Even if you hate it, click the hate button. Leave a comment. Tell me why you hate it. I can work with that. don't do nothing. That's just rubbish, isn't it? Well, the first reason is that it is part of my health and is reciprocal. It goes round. Record that shit again, Mark, because it was shit. Communication strategies. What a load of waffly nonsense. Yo, it's not my health and safety, baby. Using the talkie hole. Nailed that one. Nailed it down.